Oh, okay. I feel good. I feel really good today. A lot of epiphanies going on this past week. A lot of ideas that I've been sharing, and I want to now spread them onto the internet and, move on and see where else we can move on here, people. So, lastly, where I left off on the University of Success, where I believe is lesson, so I'll just go through each one. Lesson 19 wants to make sure that you keep your enthusiasm up. You want to make sure everything is on point, Um, when everything's on point, you tend to have this fire that wants to keep you going. It's like conditioning. The longer they go, the more they're conditioned to run even further because they're used to pushing themselves. Enthusiasm is like the mental spark to keep us working hard on a certain task. So yeah, you got to make sure you have plenty of that. 19 and lesson 19 kind of reminds you that enthusiasm kind of is the starting point to building a certain skill. Enthusiasm builds more building blocks for your tower of success. Just call it that, right? Lesson 20: How to eliminate bad habits. This is pretty much talking about how you should recognize the things that you do, and there needs to be virtues in how you perceive them and the things that you do. And it talks about the autobiography of Benjamin Franklin. He says that there are 13 things that you should keep in mind when you have a habit, and if it's not in one of these 13 categories, then it's really a bad habit because it's not really boosting you. I will read them off, but I don't think I can describe them long enough for you to make it make sense. But it is temperance, silence, order, resolution, fragility, industry, sincerity, justice, moderation, cleanliness, tranquility, chastity, and humility. Yes, humility. If a couple of those qualities isn't incorporated with the habit that you have, then it's really a bad habit because it's kind of boosting that you're really just doing something because it's like a brain fart that, like, in the time that you have, you just want to do something. If it doesn't have one of those 13 qualities incorporated in it, then you're not really building on something further. You're kind of just doing something to just fill up time. And what I like is that this is the last lesson in semester 4, and now when you start lesson 5, it goes all about time management. Lesson 21 says how to stop putting things off, and it goes right into the quote saying, "Never put off tomorrow that which you can do today." Of course, it's very simple. Do not believe that people can just always stay on the wrong path. It is always possible to quit, to stop what you're doing and do something else. You just have to believe it and have the mindset of you successfully doing it. Pernicious. And he calls this, another word for procrastination is called your erosius, my fault, erosius zone. And erosius is like basically a synonym for putting things off. It's for AKA procrastination. Yeah. Uh, I'm talking about.
Don't be posted out of nowhere. I'm in the town.
Bro, I have to. This is going on YouTube. I'm getting paid for this, sister. I love my family. I do. Oh. Okay. So let's continue where I left off. Is that really your erasure zone is procrastination, and procrastination comes from these 3 words that we use. Because of course we don't use procrastination a lot, because if we did, we would recognize when we're procrastinating. So the 3 words that we use are wish, hope, and maybe. Those are the 3 ones that we use a lot, and people don't understand that those are connections to the word procrastination. When you're wishing something to happen, you don't have the mindset that it actually will. When you have the hope that it's happening, You don't have the belief that it could actually come true. And when you're saying maybe, you're not putting in the effort to actually give it a shot. And those are the things that people use a lot, and letting them know that they shouldn't use those words when it comes to actual situations that should boost them for a higher goal that they're trying to reach. So procrastination is a very big deal with those things because it obviously leads to wasting time. And when you waste time, you're slowly killing yourself. I don't want to make that sound dark. It's not supposed to be dark, but it's supposed to be really inspirational, saying that we need to take control of our lives, even though we all know that we are slowly dying every day. You know, we can choose to do what we want, when we want to, and have the best of those moments. That's all we need. So stop wasting time and do something. This is what I'm getting at. A quote out of Lesson 21 is that if your life is better, it is because you have done something constructive to make it better. Like, life doesn't just get better when you hope, or when you wish, or if you say maybe my life's going to get better eventually. It doesn't work like that. You have to do it yourself. This chapter just speaks to me, and I fucking love it. I really do. Because it's letting you know that you shouldn't put things off that don't need to be put off. So I'm going to skip around to Lesson 22 now. It's how to cherish and use the magic of time. Really, what it's saying is that you should never waste your time doing something you know it's not going to benefit you. We're human beings. We have all the time in the world to slack off. Why don't we spend all the time to work on something to boost ourselves, to make ourselves better? We can do it. We can constantly add pluses in our lives. We just have to be willing to experience it. Bam. Lesson 22 done. Lesson 23, and this is kind of be where I will be ending this video, and lesson 23 is called How to Make the Most of Your Opportunities. Oh my gosh, not opportunities, priorities. And what this means is that it goes to the form of time management to making an everyday checklist, to-do list. And when doing this, you should list anything you want, but make sure you have what they call the A, B, and C categories. Categories of priorities. A being most important, B is moderate, and C is least important when it comes to priorities. You know, you kind of get it. And you'll start to realize that your priority list will change. It will alter based on how you rate them. And when you do that, it gives you the opportunity to really find things that you really think are important and get those done first, and then incorporate other priorities that you said you would work on in the week, but you would probably get them done in that day. I will agree with this book when I say it. To-do lists are very helpful. They're very important. It gives people so much time and effort. I'm not going to say that I do this every day, but making a to-do list is very productive when I know I'm going to be sitting in my house. So if you're bored, make a to-do list. What's it going to hurt you? You know, no. It literally maps out your brain and things that you want to do, and your brain will start to look for those situations to check them off your list. It's like putting your mental to-do list on a piece of paper. When you look at that to-do list long enough, you'll start to think. When you think long enough, you start to do. You start to act, you know, you start to put things in motion. You start to turn the gears. You find the hamster, put it in the right gear, and make that gear spin, and it gets to another gear, and then you find out that you're off. You're working. You're doing things. You're functioning well. And since I'm in the middle of this semester still, it's great to find out that it's now hitting on time management. And I like it because as I read it now, it kind of gives me this situation of when I'm not doing something, it kind of gives me this idea of what should I be doing? What can I do to boost my skills? What can I do to boost myself? And it really helps because it gets me on point, it gets me on task. Yeah, it's really appreciated. These chapters are definitely appreciated the most so far out of all of them. And I will say that right now I'm done. But I put my WordPress blog down there again. If you have habits and you want to know if they kind of help you or hurt you, I'll put that link down there and say by the weekend I should have that for you. And yeah, so it's cool. Joseph Allen Blessman signing off. Everybody be free and be well.